Hey everyone, Tactics here, and in this video I'll be going over the Glory of the Nathrian Raider meta achievement, showing you guys how to get all 10 achievements and your very own Rampart Screecher mount. Overall, this set of achievements was actually quite easy compared to previous tiers, with no real standouts in terms of difficulty. I do still recommend completing this on normal though, just to make things a bit easier for yourself, and in general, a couple of the achievements are easier with smaller raid groups, around 10 to 15 or so people, but if your group is bigger, it's not a huge deal. Also note, if you're looking for a specific achievement, you can skip ahead by checking out the timestamps linked in the description below. With all that said, if you found this video useful, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's start off with the beginning of the raid, and Shriek-Wing's achievement, Blind as a Bat. Basically, there's going to be 6 sets of stones, kind of little pebbles, piles of pebbles, along the edges of the room. We just marked them with the raid markers here so everyone knew exactly where they were. And what you have to do is have these piles of stones be hit by the blood puddles. So either have a player stand on top of it when ear-splitting shriek is going out, or what we did is we just had the echolocation targets go to one of the markers and stand there until the echolocation went off. And basically what will happen is that the blood puddle will spawn on the pebbles and a little stealth mob will die. So basically to get this achievement, you just need to kill all 6 stealth mobs. And it was quite easy. We had 3 on each end of the room, so we just tanked the boss on one side of the room, killed those 3 with the echolocations, then moved him all the way across to the other side, killed those 3 with echolocations, and then we killed the boss from there. Moving on, we have the Huntsman Altimor achievement, Taking Care of Business. Basically what you have to do here is you have to kite all 3 dogs around the entire room once. So here we just drag the dogs over to the purple marker, and then we just kited him all the way around the room until he got to the other side on the blue marker. And then when that happened, he would poop on the ground, and then we would kill him, and then we would do the same thing with the next dog. And you just repeat that 3 times. The poop piles will disappear by the time your next dog gets over there. But basically, just as long as every dog has done their business, you can then lust and kill them, and you'll get your achievement. From there, we have Feed the Beast on Hungering Destroyer, which is very similar to that first Shriekwing achievement. Basically, there's going to be 3 canisters on each side of the room, the big anima canisters, and you just need to hit each of them with one of the beams, the volatile ejection beams. And so, same thing with Shriekwing. We just did one side first, lined up the 3 ejections, had them go out, we went to the other side, killed those with the ejections, and then we went and DPS the boss down to 0. Moving on, we have Inerva. So Lady Inerva does require you to have the Son of Animus battle pet. And basically what happens, you can mark this battle pet too just to make it a little bit easier. When the boss is engaged, the Son of Animus pet will start charging up for 4 minutes. And basically at the end of those 4 minutes, it will spawn an ad that you just need to lust and nuke down. This was the only one that had any I would say it might be a little bit difficult for some people. Basically what you'll want to do is slowly push Inerva throughout the fight. Basically just pushing her to the next HP threshold when she gets close to 60 to 80 energy-ish on the current locked canister. And of course, just making sure your cleansing canisters on the way so nothing gets terribly high. Just so you're not pushing the boss too fast, but you do need to push the boss somewhat, just so you don't run out of resources by the time this ad spawns. And definitely save Bloodlust and cooldowns for this Dark Animus ad. Again, it's 4 minutes into the fight, so you can plan accordingly. But it's a little scary, but if you just kill it fast enough, nothing scary really happens. So just wait out the 4 minutes. I should note that the person with the pet that put it down does need to live the entire 4 minutes. But basically, slow DPS on the boss the whole fight. I believe we ended up having the Animus spawn when the 3rd canister was transitioning to the 4th canister. So somewhere around there is where you want it. From there, we move on to Artificer Xy'mox and the Private Stock achievement. Basically for this, there's going to be a couple things you can interact with just outside of his room. There's a couple urns and then another statue in the corner. And basically they're these anima things that just need to be taken into the boss room when you pull the boss, and that'll basically start the achievement for you. And then in each phase, so the soul phase, the seed phase, and then the axe phase, the annihilation phase, there will be a little orb that spawns in the center ring of the room somewhere. And basically any person can interact with this. It doesn't need to be the person that actually picked up the item. Any person can interact with this, and it will just stun you. And it always spawns shortly after the ability is cast. So in phase 1, it's shortly after the spirits is cast. In phase 2, it's shortly after the seeds are cast. And in phase 3, it's shortly after the annihilation is cast. What you need to do is then drop your wormholes, 1 on the stunned player and 2 on the little void zone that appears somewhere in the room. Doing this, basically you just need to dunk that orb in that void zone to complete this step of the achievement. But of course the player is stunned. I believe they're immune to life grips as well, though we didn't really test it, but on Wowhead people are claiming that they are immune to life grips. And so basically you'll need that 3 times, once in each phase, and that will get you the achievement there. Next up we have kael'thas and the Burning Bright achievement, and for this there are 4 braziers in the corners of the room, and each needs to be hit by one of the shade's various abilities. So first we have in the star corner, we have the Blazing Brazier, and this needs to be hit with Blazing Surge, which is the random target cone on Heroic, but on normal note that this is targeting the tank. So this is a tank frontal on normal if you're doing it on normal, which you should be. So your tanks will just need to drag the shade over there, wait until the Blazing Surge goes out, and make sure it hits this brazier to light it up. The green marker in the front as well is the Fiery Brazier, and this needs to be hit with the Fiery Strike, which is the tank debuff frontal cone. So what we did is we had the tanks initially run over to that yellow marker, wait for the Blazing Surge to go off, and then once it did, they'll run across to the green marker, and then wait for the Fiery Strike to go off. Meanwhile, we had the rest of the raid. In the back corner, there's the purple marker with the Embered Brazier. We had everyone stack there except for the person fixated by phoenixes. So everyone stood there, the Ember Blast, went out, and that needs to be stacked directly on that brazier. We just all soaked it, and then we ran over to the other corner with the blue marker we had the Smoldering Brazier, and that's where the Phoenix fixated person will run towards. And basically you just need to kill the Phoenix on top of this blue brazier. So we just gripped it, knocked it in, and then we CC'd it on top, and then we just killed it, and that'll light up that brazier. Once all 4 braziers are alight, you can then kill the boss as normal. We just did this in the first shade phase. It works in either. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you light all 4. Moving on, we have Poor Decision Making, the Council of Blood achievement. So basically for this, there's an ad that'll spawn every minute. So it starts off, the spawn is around a minute into the fight, so it doesn't spawn at the beginning. You have to wait about a minute for the first ad to spawn. And there's basically these 4 markers we set up where they can spawn near. And there are these friendly ads that you can interact with, and you just need to do this 4 times. So they spawn about every minute. They're only up for about 15-ish seconds, so you need to get over there quickly, whatever's happening. Because they will spawn during the dance, they will spawn during boss stuff. They don't care. They will spawn around every minute, no matter what is happening. So you just need to interact with them shortly after they spawn, and you just need to do this 4 times, and that's the achievement. Moving on, we have Dirtflap's Revenge. So Sludgefist. Dirtflap himself is actually at the end of the hallway if you go towards out of Shrieking's and Sludgefist's room towards Artificer and kael'thas. Follow that hallway to the end, and Dirtflap will be in the corner. You can talk to him. He has a little dialogue you click through, and then he'll run back to Sludgefist's room, and he'll just chill on top of a pillar. And basically for this achievement, you just need to make Sludgefist collide with the pillar that Dirtflap is on top of. So every time Sludgefist hits a pillar, Dirtflap will jump up and fly to a new one, and then you just make him hit that one next. I'm not sure if this works with smashing the pillars via Sludgefist Stomp. We didn't test that, we just did the charges. So just make sure you're basically similar to Inerva. You're just slowly DPSing him throughout the fight, and then you just pop Lust and kill him after he's hit the 4th pillar, sorry. Moving on to the second last boss, Feed Me Seymour, the Stone Legion Generals one. So just before the boss room, again, there's going to be some flowers that everyone can interact with. They do only last 10 minutes, note this, so I would recommend killing the trash first, and then just before you're pulling the boss, have everyone in your raid pick up the roses just outside and then go in and start the boss. And basically you need to have everyone have their bouquet of roses bloom. And to have them bloom, you just need to collect the anima orbs in the intermission phase that fall on the ground or drop from the Goliath. This is one of those ones that's easier with a smaller group size, just because you have less animal orbs to collect. Though if you have a bigger group size, you can just AFK basically in those intermission phases, pick up orbs and then not dunk them, because you only need to pick up the orb itself to buff your roses. You don't actually need to dunk the orb, so you can just wait for everyone to get their various animal orbs there. If you die before you're able to buff your roses, you'll fail the achievement, so you'll have to reset. If you die after you've buffed your roses, it's still okay, so just keep that in mind. But in general, I mean, you're just kind of AFKing in the intermission phases, so you don't really need to hold DPS cooldowns outside of that. You can just send them. And just make sure everyone in your raid has gotten their bouquet of blooming sanguine roses. Moving on to the very last achievement, Clear Conscience, the Sire Denathrius achievement. Basically, all you need to do is have your entire raid cleanse all of their Burden of Sin stacks. In smaller group sizes, what we did, very easy, just had everyone soak. The blood price was not super painful with small group size. I think we had 13, yeah. But even with 15, 16, it shouldn't be that bad to just soak them all. If you're at 30 people, then you'll probably need to stagger soak and AFK to get to 6 cleansing pains. But we only needed 4, seeing as we're in a small group. And we just had everyone eat every soak. Be sure though, those adds still hurt a bit, especially because you'll be spawning a fair amount of them, so just nuke those adds down. But yeah, you just cleanse all of your Burden of Sin stacks, 4 of them on normal. Make sure everyone is fully cleansed before pushing into phase 2, and then you just do the boss fight as normal, and you'll get your achievement and your mount. Yeah, but that is it on how to get all 10 Glory of the Nathrian Raider achievements and obtain your Rampart Screecher mount. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Warcraft content like it. You can also check me out on my Twitch at Tactics, where I stream high Mythic Plus keys and Mythic raids from a tank point of view. That's it for this video though. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.